Hi, I am so happy to be here with you today. I'm Jen. For those of you that don't know me, I release a video weekly, and I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel for love, relationship, and just life content in a variety of different areas. But today I wanted to talk with you all about 5 powerful lessons that I've learned in my marriage. For some of you that are new and some of you that already know a little bit about my story, I've been married for 15 years, and the person my husband married is very different today, really moving through so many different things and just really growing and evolving together over time. And so I thought it would be really supportive to talk about some lessons that I've learned, because these are things that really come up in my coaching work with women, where we really kind of farm out our happiness onto another person, and where that disempowers us and leaves us sort of in these energetics of waiting or feeling like a victim, or just feeling resentful and angry because life isn't happening for us. It feels like it's happening to us. And so that's my intention, to share these 5 lessons with all of you today. So let's dive in. First lesson was, it's not my husband's job to make me happy. So when I got married, not consciously, but subconsciously, I really thought this. I thought, okay, he's going to make me happy and all my problems are going to go away now. And of course, like, maybe not to the most extreme level of this, but there was this sort of rose-colored glasses kind of thinking where just life wouldn't have any problems anymore. And what inevitably happens when we have this kind of mindset, even on like a smaller level, we start to notice our problems are creeping back in. And it's like, oh, why do I feel this way? I'm not supposed to feel this way. And if we're not conscious, we will blame the other person and say, you did this to me, when in reality, we've had these problems all along. They are just now becoming more visible because the honeymoon period of the relationship or of the union is wearing off. And so love can feel deeply intoxicating in the beginning, because it just makes time stand still and it makes it seem like we don't have problems anymore. But over time, life creeps back in. And if we don't have a strong sense of self and an awareness of who we are, with solid boundaries and expectations of what sharing a life with another person is, we will project on them this sort of idea that they are supposed to rid us of our problems, rather than really navigating life in this empowered way and bringing that support and interdependence into the relationship. Number 2, loving another person is a choice that we must return to again, and again. So I've talked about like Disney conditioning, right? Where it's just like, we all live happily ever after type of thing. And it isn't like that, right? Like, in order to really evolve and grow in love and relationship, there's going to be friction. We are going to come up against each other and have to choose to work through that, right? So we have to choose to love the other person. We have to choose to forgive them, right? How many times have we had to say sorry within our relationship? How many times have we had to consider the other person's perspective and find a way to compromise? How many times have we had to accept that we think differently and hold different points of view and honor that? All of these things are choices to love, but it requires us to really work on our triggers and the parts of self that don't deal well with being uncomfortable or having different viewpoints or different perspectives or different ways presented to them. And so it's not meant to be this perfect harmony all of the time. And instead, relationships really invite in this tremendous opportunity to grow and to heal and to illuminate the cracks that live inside, where we have outsourced our happiness and well-being and sense of safety, and instead we're being asked to really source that from within and allow our partner to be free and to be who they are, and to willingly choose to accept them within the truth of how they express themselves. Number 3, our partners will show us the deepest parts of self that need healing. I touched on this a little bit in the second option, but it's like your partner is going to illuminate the parts of you that have not come into right relationship, right? Where you're still holding on to childhood aspects of self that no longer serve you, or where you've stayed comfortable in patterns that have really become like maladaptive and have become unhealthy for you day to day. So I'm trying to think of an example of how I can like speak to this a little bit. I'll speak to this a little bit more specifically. What I mean by showing the cracks that live within would be if certain emotions get stirred that are hard to feel and we quickly react to it, we're kind of revealing to ourselves the limited capacity we have to hold difficult emotions, right? So that's why we react, because we don't want to sensationally experience whatever's going on. But the more we can widen our capacity to feel, the more we can sit with something that's hard, get underneath it, and see what it's bringing up for us. And as we allow ourselves to understand what's being illuminated and then bring that to our partner from a place of love versus reaction, this is how we invite in a deeper healing together, right? This is a very powerful way to just really explore those parts where maybe you haven't witnessed, or maybe parts that you've made bad or wrong, or parts within self that you've repressed or suppressed. I know that in my own life, if I'm talking to someone and I'm getting really triggered, I'm not perfect by any means, but I would say that I have a very solid and strong practice of noticing what's coming up before I react. Like, what's activating me within this? Like, where am I being asked to feel this? Like, where am I making this about myself or something I've experienced? Because our partners are a beautiful mirror in this way. So there's so many aspects where we've abandoned ourselves and then they've mirrored that back to us, or we've betrayed ourselves and then they've mirrored that back to us. But usually, if we go deep enough and have that really honest look within, we will see that they are often mirroring something that we have done to ourselves on some level first. And if we're willing to get curious, we begin to see this, and then we have an opportunity to bring it to them honestly, heartfeltly, openly, and really be witnessed. And then the relationship reaches a whole entire new level of intimacy and love with a safe, healthy man. Of course, I'm always speaking to that in a video such as this. Marriage isn't supposed to be happy 24/7. And this is something I talk about in some of my other videos, like this relationship we can hold with codependency, where we think, oh, this is uncomfortable. He's in a bad mood today, or he's angry, or he's baiting me, or he's distant. And we really want to create the freedom and space for our partner to have a bad day. Where have we made our husband or our partner, where have we made them need to be in a good mood for us 24/7, right? Like, where do we not give them permission to just have their struggle or their challenges, or be in that quiet, more inward, closed off space, or to be angry and to be frustrated, and trust that they have the skills and resiliency to work through that without us intervening. We can subtly put these expectations on our partner that they just need to be happy and in a good mood for us all of the time. And if we kind of unconsciously expect that, that's also an opportunity to look at ourselves, where we're scared of not allowing another person to feel because maybe we don't trust them to work through it, or maybe we don't think we're worth it, or maybe we feel like, they're just going to leave because, we're not worth the effort, the challenges, the emotional energy involved. It could be so many different things. But again, it's like, when you get still and when you get quiet in your relationship and what's coming up for you, feminine energy really reveals the truth of what lives inside of you, what you don't want to sit with. And when I meet a woman who goes strongly into doing mode, it's often related to not wanting to feel, it's easier to step and take action and react to these things than it is to be still and play the long game and explore what's coming up within you and where you're not loving yourself or honoring yourself in the ways that deep down you know that you deserve. And the last thing, it's still really important to keep your life full. So it doesn't mean that, you're attached at the hip, you have to do everything together, right? Like we've talked about codependency, then there's the interdependency extreme where everything's done separate, I don't need any help, that sort of range, and then just really returning to this space where you have a full life, you do the things that are meaningful to you. He doesn't have to always share the same interests as you, but you self-honor. So if you love to go to a certain fitness class, or you like to go to a certain restaurant on Sundays with friends for brunch, you keep up with your life and you keep it full. And you allow your relationship and vice versa to be just like this natural enhancement of a woman who's already deeply in touch and knows herself well. From this space, a relationship thrives because we're not subtly looking to him to make us happy or to him to fill up our cup, but instead we're able to exchange from him from this space of having our cup full and share the overflow of that. It's a very, very different energy when we go into it with this sort of depletion, I have this thing I want and I feel so empty and I'm in pain. It's okay sometimes to express what we're going through, but to really have this awareness where we're not putting it on another person and we keep our life full with the things that bring us joy, then are able to really approach the relationship from this higher quality, from this conscious space that allows emotional safety to be online and for him to feel really emotionally safe within himself to listen and to be there for you because he knows that you're a woman who's in control of her emotions and isn't just going to project or lash out on him. So I would say that of all the lessons I've learned over the years, if I had to kind of just sum it up, which was my goal today, these are 5 really important lessons that I have integrated within my 15 years of being married. I would love to hear how this supports you and any relationship challenges you've had, maybe recently, or that have been just repeated patterns that you've been cycling through. I have my new Becoming Truthfully You webinar, meditation, and PDF guide up on my site. I will link it below. If you're interested in a bigger taste of my work, I invite you to download those free resources. I'll see you all next week.